As an entrepreneur, you're reading this or you're listening to this at 11 p.m., whatever it might be, because you can't stop. Not because you're passionate anymore, but because you're afraid of what happens if you do. That, my friends, is burnout. Not the dramatic collapse kind, the slow, visible kind that hustle culture never really warned you about. Your phone buzzes, another notification, another opportunity, another reason to feel like you're falling behind. And somewhere between that third espresso and the 44th strategic pivot you made a decision that no one tells you about. You optimized yourself into a corner.
Your Success DNA podcast. Your success is in your DNA.
What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my fellow success seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Your Success DNA, the podcast for my aspiring entrepreneurs, actually anyone who really wants to level themselves up, because each episode delivers mindset shifts and habit upgrades, all mixed with my usual dose of rebellion, all designed to help you break free from convention to build not just a business, but perhaps a life aligned with your version of success. And if you know someone that's dreaming of ditching the grind and wants to make themselves a little bit better, but still makes time for some personal development, a little self-help, sprinkle of spice in there, go ahead and forward this episode to them. All right. So not so long ago, I was running 3 businesses, not because I wanted to, but because I couldn't stop. And the logic was simple. More hours equals more money, and more money equals, more freedom. Except it doesn't. What it equals is more hours. That's it. I was making 6 figures across all 3 ventures, but here's the painful truth. I was making $7.50 an hour when you divided it by all the actual hours that I was working. I was becoming a high-level earner masquerading as a successful entrepreneur. There's a difference, and it costs you everything. Here's what no one shows you in all those motivational business videos that you see those famous names doing. The moment you decide to chase growth above all else, you've already made the trade. You've exchanged something finite, your attention, your health, and your relationships, for something infinite that will never, ever satisfy you. I'm sorry, I'm going to drop the truth bombs here. You've agreed to a game where the finish line not just doesn't exist, but it keeps moving, right? You've accepted that peace is what losers get when they're too tired to want more. Yeah. And you did it so damn gradually that you didn't even notice the moment you stopped being ambitious and started being compulsive. And here's the weird part. Ambition and compulsion look identical from the outside. Same hours, same hustle culture grind, same post about grinding and no days off on all the social media platforms, but there's a poison difference running through the two of them. Real ambition has an end date. You want the business to hit 7 figures so that you can step back and enjoy it. You want to build something with your hands and then hand it off to someone else and let them run it. You have a picture of what winning looks like. Compulsion doesn't have that end state. It's a treadmill that tends to speed up every time you hit a milestone. The goalposts don't move. They just disappear. I realized this on a Tuesday when I was looking at my bank account. The numbers were good, don't get me wrong, but my life was empty. And I had to ask myself a magic question that entrepreneurs are trained never to ask. What if I am 100% wrong about what I'm building towards? What if I'm climbing the ladder to success and the damn ladder is leaning on the wrong wall of opportunity? The question broke something open inside me. I fired my ambition about 8 months later. Not the work, not the standards, not the commitment to excellence. I fired the part of me that thought more always meant better. The part that measured my worth in revenue and launch dates. The part that couldn't be happy for more than 48 hours without planning the next scaling phase. And here's the thing that the algorithm will never, ever, not even once, recommend to you. Everything got better. Everything. My profits went up 35%, not because I worked harder, but because I stopped working stupid. When you're running on fumes, you're going to make expensive mistakes. You're going to hire the wrong person just because you need a damn body, not talent. You launch products that aren't ready because you need wins, not actual value. You say yes to clients that will become vampires and drain your energy because you can't afford to say no. You'll be too damn tired to think clearly, so you will make mistakes from desperation instead of strategy. This is normal in entrepreneurship culture, the culture that tells you that this is strength. It's not. It's economic self-sabotage dressed up as a pretty motivational poster. The moment I stopped the consistent growth chase, I could actually see where the money was leaking out like a sieve. One of my businesses was losing 40% of its revenue in fulfillment costs because I never sat down long enough to redesign the damn process. Another had a customer acquisition cost that was so insane because I was spending on ads while running on empty. So there was no creative energy left. So the copy was weak. I mean, really weak. The third was hemorrhaging good people because I built a culture that worshipped overwork. Smart people are going to leave that type of culture. Why? Because they have options. So you're left with the desperate and the broken. And broken people run broken businesses. I cut one business loose entirely. It was profitable. It had recurring revenue, but it was also a vampire. And I had been using it as proof that I was winning, while it was actually proof that I just could not stop. The revenue loss kind of looked terrifying until I calculated what it cost me to just maintain it. You know, I'm talking about my mental health, my fatherhood, my ability to think clearly, my ability to think about anything except the next quarterly report. Once I ran the numbers, cutting it was actually the easiest decision I had made in 3 years. I didn't lose income when I let it go. I just lost the weight of it. With 2 businesses instead of 3, I had something radical. Bear with me. Time to think. Time to actually improve things. Time to see patterns I had been too damn busy to notice previously. And this is the part that breaks the internet's brain. When you stop chasing growth and start chasing efficiency, growth seems to come anyway. But it comes completely differently. It comes as a side effect of doing fewer things, but doing them way better. Not more things, kind of okay. You feel me? Okay. I started a 4-day work week. Not because I was lazy, not because I'm stupid. Stanford economist Joe Pankabel found that productivity drops sharply after 50 hours. And beyond that, it doesn't just decline, it inverts. You start creating problems that take more time to solve. You start making decisions that cost money. You miss opportunities because you're too damn tired to recognize they're right there in front of you. The 5th day, it wasn't a day off. It was a day for strategy. It was a day for actual thinking and for the work I had previously been too damn busy to get to.
Your Success DNA podcast. Your success is in your DNA.
My revenue stayed relatively stable. The profit margin, it went up, while the stress went down. My ability to father got better. I started remembering why I started building businesses in the first place, because I like to solve problems, not because I needed to prove something to an invisible audience of people who actually don't care about my growth. Heck, most of them don't even care about me at all. Yet right? You understand what I'm saying? But here's where I think it really starts to get a bit uncomfortable, because the moment I stepped off that treadmill, I had to face something that the hustle culture never wants you to face. Actually, they don't let you face it. Who am I without the grind? Yeah. When you're not defining yourself by your productivity, what's left? And to some of you, that's actually terrifying. That's why most people do not want to or never will slow down. Not because they can't afford to, but because they're afraid of what they're going to find in the quiet. It's why quiet quitting becomes a cultural flashpoint, because millions of people simultaneously recognize that the anti-hustle culture and anti-hustle movement wasn't about laziness. It was about survival. It is about survival. I found a person I had forgotten, someone who liked building things, someone who could sustain work without it destroying him, someone who understood that real power isn't about how much you produce, it's about how little you need to produce to live exactly how you want to live. That, my friends, is leverage. That's actually what entrepreneurs are supposedly after. We just got confused somewhere along the way and started thinking leverage meant more stuff, meant more scaling, meant more everything. The trap is this. Ambition is supposed to be a tool. It's supposed to help you build towards something specific. But somewhere between the first productivity app and the 100th motivational video, it becomes a drug. Researchers who study founder burnout describe it as a process of progressive accumulation, each small compromise stacking invisibly until the weight becomes structural. Your brain gets used to those hits of achievement, the notifications, the sense of progress. So when you slow down, it feels like failure. Your nervous system literally starts screaming, "You're wasting time! Stop! You're wasting time!" Your feed shows you other people who haven't slowed down, which means they're ahead of you, which means you're behind. It's a casino, and you have just become a slot machine. Here's a data that might just wake you up a little bit. 87% of founders report experiencing anxiety, report experiencing depression, burnout, or all three. Nearly half are considering quitting their startup due to stress. That isn't weakness. This is what happens when you mistake motion for progress, when you confuse being busy for being effective. The real reason that I'm telling you this is because nobody makes money telling you to slow down. Yeah, right? The entire ecosystem of business advice out there is built on the assumption that you want more money, more followers, more products, more growth, more views, whatever. The advice industry doesn't profit if you get off the hamster wheel. So the message you hear is consistent, it's constant, and it's completely designed to keep you running on that hamster wheel. And the worst part, it works. It keeps you running right up to the moment you realize you're running towards a finish line that does not exist. Yeah, there is no straightaway. And I'm not saying don't be ambitious when I'm telling you this. I'm saying be specific about what you're ambitious towards. Because the difference between sustainable success and burnout is exactly this. Knowing when you're done. That's it. Mic drop. We could be done right here. Knowing what your building's towards. Knowing that at some point, you can actually stop, sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and enjoy it. Yeah, most entrepreneurs never know this. They build businesses that require them to be trapped inside those businesses forever. They're building a beautiful cage, a gilded cage, you might say. The ambition I'm fired wasn't the desire to do good work. No, it was the lie that more work was the answer to every single problem out there. Yeah, it was the belief that my worth was to be determined by my productivity. It was the surrender to an infinite game as if it had finite rules. And when I fired it, everything actually worked better. So your move now is clear, but I bet you won't take it because it requires you to believe something that nobody around you believes, that less chosen with precision is more than more chosen with desperation. Peace isn't the reward for work. It's the prerequisite for work that actually matters. All right. So if this episode's hitting you in the chest right now, good. If you're recognizing yourself inside the story of endless hustle leading nowhere, a good, then here's what I want you to do. I want you to get over on the newsletter list, Unleash Your Success DNA, another weekly dose of reality for my aspiring entrepreneurs and 9-to-5 escapees. Each issue delivers more mindset shifts, more habit upgrades, more doses of rebellion. Again, all helping you break free from convention so that you can build a life aligned with your version of success. Look, you don't need more productivity hacks. You need permission to think differently about what success actually looks like. Go ahead, head on over to Your Success DNA and join all those future founders who are learning to build businesses and lives that serve their lives, not consume them. Okay? So now, why does this matter, Tracy? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we're living through the greatest entrepreneurial awakening in human history, and most people are getting it backwards. They're optimizing for metrics that don't matter while sacrificing the things that do matter. This isn't about business strategy. This is about a bigger paradigm of how we define success in a culture that's addicted to give me more, give me more, give me more, right? You feel me? All right. We've been sold a lie that entrepreneurship is about escaping the rat race. But most entrepreneurs just build more expensive rat races with better branding. There it is. The real revolution isn't in the tool or the tactics. It's in remembering that business is supposed to serve life, not the other way around. And there are so many big businesses out there that have totally forgotten this. I'm hoping you're not in one of them. When you understand that, everything starts to change. Your decisions change. Your priorities change. Your definition of winning changes. And that's when you stop being a high income prisoner and start actually becoming a real entrepreneur. So all that said, here's your whispered wisdom for this week. I want you to start with this thought. Ambition without boundaries becomes compulsion. Compulsion without awareness becomes your cage. The action I want you to take right after you're finished listening to this isn't to optimize something or add something to your routine. I actually want you to take away from it, subtract something. Look at your current business, look at your current life, look at your current side hustle and ask yourself this. What am I doing that I'm only doing because I think I should be doing it? Find one thing, one project, one commitment, one quote unquote opportunity that is sucking the life out of you without moving you towards your actual goals, and cut it loose. Not next month, not next year, this week. You'll know you found the right thing because the thought of letting it go will feel a little bit terrifying, but it'll also feel liberating at the same time. That, my friend, is your nervous system telling you that you've been carrying this weight on your shoulder that you don't need to carry. Freedom isn't always about having more choices. It's about making better ones. Okay? So listen, the world doesn't need yet another burned out entrepreneur who makes mistakes from exhaustion for dedication. It needs you. It needs you clear-headed, strategic, and building something that actually matters. The courage to fire your toxic ambition, it's not giving up, it's growing up. So stop optimizing your life away and start living it. Think successfully. Take action.
Thanks for listening to Your Success DNA podcast. Whether you're starting out or you're a seasoned entrepreneur, we have the tools and inspiration that you need to take your life to the next level. So stay tuned for more game-changing advice in our upcoming episodes. And hey, before you go, a quick reminder to check out our past episodes of Your Success DNA for more inspiring stories and practical advice. And if you've loved what you heard, leave us a review and share this podcast with your friends and colleagues. Let's all level up our lives together, shall we? Remember, your success is in your DNA.